Now on 4 News Now, the battle over Camp Hope includes the Spokane County Sheriff. He says he will charge the people living there who don't leave the lot.
It's the first full day of fall, but summer temperatures are back next week. What you need to know about your weekend in the First Alert forecast.
And we'll take you inside the Spokane area facility that's helping women who have escaped sex trafficking. You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
And we have team coverage tonight on the battle over Camp Hope. The sheriff says time is running out. He's ready to clear the largest homeless camp in the state. He says if people don't leave, they could end up in jail.
He's calling Camp Hope a protest that's gone on for far too long. He doesn't care about statewide efforts happening right now to move people somewhere safer. He says it's his duty to do something now. Esther Bauer begins our team coverage live at Camp Hope with his deadline and his plan. Esther.
Well, his plan is already in progress. Prosecutors are right now creating a warrant of abatement. Come October 14th, he says he'll use whatever means necessary to clear over 700 people living here on this plot of land.
It is my responsibility to clean it up.
Sheriff Ozzie Knezovich says he'll do what the state won't on a deadline quickly approaching.
The clock is continuing to tick.
He says this camp isn't a housing issue.
This is a drug-fueled protest of people who want no barriers and they want to do whatever they want.
He plans to offer people a bus ticket out of town, or he'll tell them to go to a shelter. If people stay, Knezovich says he'll end the protest, citing unlawful assembly, and will arrest anyone who doesn't leave.
It does not meet the criteria of no one goes to jail. Sorry. There are some bad people out there that just need it. That's where they go. That's what that needs to happen.
Homeless agencies are already doing outreach at the camp and trying to create more stability as they use $24 million from the state to move people somewhere safer.
We know that it's going to take some time to be able to really address all their needs, and so we want to stabilize what's there in a way that creates additional safety and security.
Apparently, they're going to build a fence around it. Out of sight, out of mind. Are you going to put curtains on the fence too?
He says the city, WSDOT, and the state should have done something a long time ago. The law gives him the power to take charge, and he plans to do so with whatever it takes.
This protest is about to end.
And we did ask the sheriff when was the last time he visited this camp. He tells us he's met with neighbors and businesses in the area, but he does not normally come to crime-ridden areas of the community. But he says he knows what squalor looks like. Now, when it comes to that fence, WSDOT tells us this is their next priority. In between shows, I met a pregnant woman who's living here at this camp. She tells me they will fight back. In her words, she says they do not want to be caged in and are not happy that discussions are now starting to put a fence up at this location. Reporting live in East Central, Esther Bauer, 4 News Now.
Esther, thank you. The sheriff sent many comments in the direction of Lisa Brown, the director of the Department of Commerce.
She made herself available for comment after the sheriff's press conference. And Lisa Brown visited Camp Hope just yesterday. We have a photo of her touring the camp with Julie Garcia from Jules Helping Hands. Our team coverage continues tonight with Jordan Smith, who talked with Brown this afternoon and is at Camp Hope tonight. Jordan.
Well, Brown made it clear that she would not spend much time addressing these comments made by Sheriff Knezovich. Instead, she wanted to focus on her plan to help the people here at Camp Hope and how to address each one of their needs individually. In a brief meeting with the press today, Director of the Department of Commerce, Lisa Brown, had few things to say in response to Sheriff Knezovich's comments.
Making it personal isn't going to help us get this job done. I'll just say that.
Sheriff Knezovich mentioned the idea of bus tickets to get the homeless back to where they originally came from, near their families. Brown briefly addressed that idea.
When he referenced bus tickets, I mean, ironically, we have current providers in Spokane that when they are providing services to an individual, if they find that that individual has family and support in another location, they do help them get to that location. That is part of our process, if that is appropriate and there is that support there.
She also stated that roughly 75% of the residents they spoke with at Camp Hope were originally from this area.
the idea that that works for everybody is obviously part of the problem here. The funding that we receive is supposed to focus on housing solutions.
She reaffirmed that the Department of Commerce is allocating funding to housing solutions that meet the needs of individual people living at Camp Hope. And Brown said she anticipates to release a statement alongside the Department of Transportation next week to address these comments made by Sheriff Knezewicz and his plans to tear down the camp within the next 20 days. We'll be following that part of the story very closely. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
Jordan, thank you. Well, it is the first full day of fall, and it's looking like a beautiful weekend as well.
As I was driving in, I saw those blue skies with little streaks of the white clouds. Meteorologist Chris Crocker is here with your first alert forecast.
It was a beautiful start to fall. You know, fall means football, and we've got a lot of it over the next 24 hours. This evening, if you're heading out to Friday night football games, it will cool down quickly. Seasonable will be in the 50s by 9 o'clock. Expect the winds to become light, the skies to clear. It is going to be a fantastic fall night. Temperatures right now are in the 60s and 70s, 70 in Spokane Valley and Liberty Lake. It's 68 out at the airport in Spokane and 67 in Coeur d'Alene, Hayden, as well as Spirit Lake. Around the region, we find temperatures primarily in the 60s in extreme eastern Washington and North Idaho, with 70s through the Columbia Basin and down through the Lewiston area. Meanwhile, tomorrow, big sold-out game down on the Palouse. I don't think Ducks like it this dry and sunny and warm. It'll be 70 at kickoff time, heading to a high in Pullman of 73 degrees. Should be great weather for a day down on the WSU campus. I'll be back with the second half of your weekend forecast and tell you about the 80s on the way next week in just a few minutes. Aaron?
Chris, thank you. Breaking news on the missing Moses Lake couple that we told you about earlier this week. The Lincoln County Sheriff's Office is on the hunt for Charles Bergman. He's suspected of murdering his wife. The two were reported missing earlier this week. The body of Teresa Bergman was discovered in rural Lincoln County Thursday. There's a national arrest warrant out for her husband, Charles Bergman. He was last seen driving a silver Chevy Impala with Washington plates. He is considered dangerous. If you see him, do not approach him. Contact the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office or call 911.
Coming up on 4 News Now, take a trip back in time tonight with technology of the future. See what's bringing back the Y Drive-In for one night only.
And schools across the country are being warned about teens overdosing on pills laced with fentanyl. The urgent effort to fight the crisis, that's coming up.
4 News Now on your time with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
4 News Now is brought to you by Granite Concepts of Lewiston.
There's nothing that beats the in-person experience of the Fall Festival of Homes. Whether you're buying, remodeling, or just looking for inspiration, you'll find everything you need to turn your ideas into reality. The 18th Annual Fall Festival of Homes will feature top local builders such as Camden Homes, Toll Brothers, and Greenstone. Sponsored by Fred's Appliance and brought to you by Spokane Home Builders Association. Local leaders, proven resources.
Loans? Chimney Rock Mortgage has loans.
We offer purchase and refinance with conventional,
FHA, USDA-RD, VA, down payment assistance,
reverse mortgage, construction.
Chimney Rock Mortgage is truly a team. We like each other, we work hard together, and the end result of that is a better loan process for you.
Contact your local equal housing lender, Chimney Rock Mortgage, for your home loan pre-approval. Chimney Rock Mortgage.
Thanks to Joe Biden, food, fuel, everything costs too much. His energy policies and massive spending spree are driving skyrocketing prices, fueling the worst inflation in decades. 2 years ago, we were a self-sufficient, energy-independent, energy-exporting nation. Today, our energy production has been crippled. I'm Mike Crapo. I approve this message. Let's stop the spending free-for-all, let loose American energy, and fix inflation.
You already know that free Camus rewards let you earn and redeem points everywhere at Northern Quest. But did you know that everywhere includes the all-new East Pan Asian cuisine and Neon Pizza? Plus, you'll enjoy our new weekday happy hour from 3 to 6 p.m. You'll even save 10 cents a gallon at our Kalispell Chevrons. And new Camus Rewards members can win up to $2,022 in reward play instantly. Only at Northern Quest. Yes, the best.
The floor covering heroes at Carpet Barn are proud to sponsor Heroes Day at the fair, September 11th. Carpet Barn's floor covering heroes want to save you from dull, boring floors. All month long, first responders, active military, and veterans will receive a 10% discount on carpet, LVP, laminate, and vinyl. Tired of the look of your home? The floor covering heroes at Carpet Barn are here to help. Take advantage of the 10% heroes discount all month long from Carpet Barn.
Well, new at 6 tonight, schools across the country are being warned about a sharp increase in the number of teens overdosing on pills laced with fentanyl.
The deadly drug and this epidemic is now a serious threat. New forms of fentanyl have even made their way to the inland Northwest, and some states now want fentanyl to be declared a weapon of mass destruction. ABC's Morgan Norwood has more.
As the fentanyl epidemic tightens its grip on communities across the country, school officials now sounding the alarm about children being targeted.
Recent data has documented that we've seen about a 40% increase in the number of deaths among teenagers and young adults due to this very potent opioid, fentanyl.
Fentanyl, a synthetic opioid, is considered 50 times more potent than heroin. In Phoenix, police seizing more than 1 million fentanyl pills, the single largest fentanyl bust in the city's history. 2 men arrested in connection. And the LA Unified School District announcing they'll stock up on Narcan in every school, K through 12. The sweeping measure amid an alarming increase in fentanyl overdoses in students, at least 7 in LA in the past month, including the death of 15-year-old Melanie Ramos. Officials say she overdosed after taking what she thought were Percocet pills, bought from another student. The DEA now warning that younger children are now being targeted by dealers. These colorful pills, known as rainbow fentanyl, are made to look like candy, and dealers are able to set up the sale via social media. Ed Tiernan lost his son Charlie to an overdose after he unknowingly took a fentanyl pill, telling our Los Angeles station KABC in a town hall.
Every single young person is vulnerable to this risk. Now you need to know what apps are on your kid's phone and really get involved in where your kid is in cyberspace, because that's where a lot of these transactions are happening.
And more than a dozen attorneys general are asking President Joe Biden to classify fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction. They say enough fentanyl has been seized in the past year to kill every person in America several times over. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Los Angeles.
More good news heading into the weekend. Our air quality is in the good range. Bright blue skies over Spokane. Just a hint of wildfire smoke on the horizon and should stay good through Saturday. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Mainstream Electric Heating, Cooling, Plumbing.
Biden and the Democrats printed trillions we don't have. The D.C. way. They spend, we pay. Gas and groceries are crushing family budgets. Kathy McMorris Rogers says, no way. Kathy's fighting every day to cut spending and get American energy back online. Lowering gas prices and securing energy independence from Russia and China. Fighting to hold Biden accountable. Kathy McMorris Rogers, our voice.
I'm Kathy McMorris Rogers, and I approve this message.
This is the dining room, where we make messes and countless memories. This is the office, where we spend long days losing ourselves in work. This is the bedroom, where we hit snooze one too many times. And of course, the living area, where we unwind and slow down. At Walker's, we have the styles you want for every room, so you can shop online or in store to create life's special moments and furnish your life for less at Walker's Furniture and Mattress.
Come home to flooring for the whole family at Great Floors. Elevate your space with beautiful flooring for the whole family, including the furry ones. Great Floors offers a large selection of Shaw Pet Perfect flooring with exclusive discounts. Shop carpet, laminate, and hardwood at Great Floors. Ask about exclusive Great Floors 12-month financing options. Visit a showroom today and live life on Great Floors.
Tonight, for the first time ever, the tank goes live.
Let's go!
The Shark Tank Live season premiere event tonight on ABC and stream on Hulu.
She found her long-lost son working right next to her. What are the odds?
That was insane to me.
Next Inside Edition, she gave him up for adoption 20 years ago. Imagine her shock when she realized that her coworker was her son. Then, look what they did to her. Beaten.
They pistol whipped me and they kicked me in the face.
And they kidnapped her French bulldog. Watch the next Inside Edition.
Watch 4 News now at 6 and Inside Edition at 7.
Well, here's a reason to look forward to Monday. You have a chance to catch something looking up really high in the sky.
It's a decent reason to look forward for Monday, I'll say that. On Monday, Jupiter will be closer to Earth than it has been in 59 years. It'll be about 367 million miles from Earth. You might be able to see Jupiter and a few of its moons with a regular pair of binoculars.
And if you have a telescope, you're going to see a whole lot more, like Jupiter's great red spot and the broad bands around it. So you might want to try taking a look after dinner tonight. The last time we saw Jupiter this close to Earth was in 1963. So, Chris, will there be clear skies tonight if we do try to get an early glimpse?
An early glimpse?
You know, there'll be a few clouds this evening, but boy, I like the looks of Monday night, though. I think that we're going to have some clear skies through the weekend. What's very good news. 69 our high today. 71 is our average high, so just a little below average for the start of fall. 46 to start the day at exactly average. Want to draw your attention to that sunset time, 6:46. That's just a half an hour from now. It's 68 and partly cloudy right now in Spokane. Still looking at winds at 10 miles per hour. Expect light winds overnight and light winds tomorrow as well. 67 and sunny presently in Coeur d'Alene. Partly cloudy overnight tonight. Again, not ideal viewing conditions, but we have some clear nights coming up before Monday. 74 for a high tomorrow. Sunny and warm with light winds. Here's a look at your forecast. One cold front zipping off to the east that picked up our winds briefly today. Now high pressure is taking over. There's nothing brief about it. It is going to be hunkering down through the weekend and into the beginning of next week. And we have a warming trend as a result that's going to take us into the mid-80s, keeping the precipitation away and heading up into Canada for the next several days. No sign of rain. Overnight lows tonight will be down in the 40s, few 50s. 53 in Grand Coulee, 53 in Lewiston. High temperatures tomorrow will be in the 70s in most locations, 74 in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, as well as Bonners Ferry. Close to 80 in Grand Coulee tomorrow, 83 tomorrow in Lewiston, and 73 in Pullman. Beautiful football weather on the Palouse. Here's a look at your planning forecast. Sunday, more sunshine with a high temperature of 79 degrees. Air quality should stay in pretty good shape. Little bit of a southwesterly wind should keep most of the smoke out of the region, but as that high pressure begins to settle down our environment, we may start to see some spots where the smoke becomes a problem as we get into early next week. A lot of that, of course, will depend on the fire behavior itself, and the light winds expected will help with that. Mid-80s on Tuesday, and then temperatures begin to moderate a little bit, 72 on Friday. But keep in mind, by this time next week, our average high will be in the mid-60s. Our average high drops very quickly this time of year. One more note, overnight lows. It feels crisp when you're out at the bus stop in the morning with the kids. However, no problems in terms of frost if you're still trying to get a couple more weeks out of your garden. Aaron?
That's good to know. Thanks, Chris. Well, Wendell Ford in North Spokane is getting into the entertainment business, well, at least for one night. 40 years ago, there was a drive-in movie theater where the Wendell at the Y, I should say, now stands.
Tonight, it's going to host a drive-in movie, and it's Back to the Future. The whole event is going to be powered by plugging into a Ford Lightning F-150. New at 6 tonight, Bronte Saratsky shows us what moviegoers can expect.
This Ford Lightning won't be used for driving Friday night. Instead, it's going to be used to power up a drive-in movie.
This vehicle does have the ability to power a lot of majority of household items in case of a blackout or something of that nature where you typically use an actual gas-powered generator. So this will be powering the projector and the audio sound system.
It's a way the dealership is showing off the Lightning, an all-electric truck. They'll be projecting a showing of Back to the Future, saying it fits the theme of the new electric truck.
So what better to introduce Spokane to the Lightning than with a movie that's premised on all electric.
The truck will power both the projection and sound for the film.
With us powering everything for the movie and the audio sounds with the vehicle itself, it does give us a chance to display the capabilities of this vehicle to the community, considering that, again, we are entering a new era of all-electric vehicles. And as far as the movie tying into the vehicle, a little bit of the same of how this movie is talking about the future.
The dealership says this isn't just a way for them to show off their car, but connect with members of the community.
We do a lot of community outreach on many different levels, and being one of the very last family-owned and operated dealerships, it just helps us to again reconnect with those who we serve.
There will also be food trucks for all attending the event. And if you are attending the drive-in movie tonight, the only entrance is going to be on the north side of the dealership. Reporting in Spokane, Bronte Sorotsky, 4 News Now.
Coming up on 4 News Now, a solution to food deserts and supply issues. How one company is changing the way people get fresh food.
We have to fight every single day.
Recovering from Hurricane Fiona, Puerto Ricans facing extreme heat as the mass power outage continues. The storm now heading toward Canada.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
There's never been a better time to get the luxurious quality and refined style you envision for your home. During National Karastan Month, receive up to a $1,000 rebate on beautiful Karastan carpets.
Save up to $1,000 on Karastan flooring at Sandpoint Furniture, Carpet One.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. The Silverado with the 2.7-liter turbo engine travels over 400 miles on a full tank of gas. Plus, now during truck season, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning is your family-owned and operated HVAC expert. Bill's can beat any licensed contractor's price with the lowest price guarantee in the area. 24-hour service available every day and $59 service calls. Bill's reminds you with the cold weather approaching, it's a good idea to change your air filters monthly. Perform annual maintenance on your equipment to maximize performance and use a smart thermostat to increase savings. Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning has the lowest price guarantee. Call today for estimates and repairs.
If only there was a place in the morning to start my day. With a smile, somewhere to help me get in the know. Oh, wait, there is.
Bring your friends.
Good morning, America. GMA 7A. Now that's how you start your day.
Just Between Friends is happening this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Shop one of the largest consignment sales and get everything you need for your growing family. Unbelievable deals all at one place, only for a short time. Cash admission at the door. Go to spokane.jbfsale.com for details.
My husband has diabetes.
Even with health insurance, we're having a hard time affording our medications.
Thankfully, we have Patty Murray fighting for us in the U.S. Senate. She kept at it till Congress finally lowered the cost of prescription drugs.
And capped insulin for seniors at $35 a month.
Now we'll save thousands every year. We know when Patty is back in the other Washington.
She is working for us.
I'm Patty Murray, and I approve this message.
There's never been a better time to get the luxurious quality and refined style you envision for your home. During National Karastan Month, receive up to a $1,000 rebate on beautiful Karastan carpets.
Save up to $1,000 on Karastan flooring at Sandpoint Furniture, Carpet One.
4 News Now is brought to you by R&R RV.
Hurricane Fiona slammed Bermuda overnight with winds up to 130 miles per hour before making landfall. 70% of the island is now without electricity, and that number will likely go up.
In Puerto Rico, about 900,000 people are still in the dark. Crews are unable to say when their electricity will be back. Some people have lost everything in this storm. President Biden is now vowing to help, announcing the federal government will cover 100% of cleanup costs in Puerto Rico for the next month. The president says hundreds of FEMA officials are already on the ground.
Be with the folks of Puerto Rico now, and until this is done, until we recover.
Fiona is now responsible for at least 8 deaths after hitting the Caribbean over the last several days. As the storm continues to swell, it's expected to make its way to eastern Canada as early as tonight.
Last year, natural disasters in the U.S. killed almost 700 people. It's more important than ever to have a plan if a disaster strikes. The American Red Cross recommends making a kit that you can take with you quickly if you have to leave your home. Include at least food and water, first aid and medications, important documents, and cash. Second, make a plan with your family members that spells out what you will do if you can't get to your home.
Very important part of the plan. We need to know where our family is going to be and where we're going to go.
You can find a full list of tips and other information about preparing for a disaster. Just go to redcross.org.
Even near some of the busiest cities in the United States, nearly 54 million people have a tough time accessing fresh and healthy food. But one company believes they have a solution, turning upcycled shipping containers into vertical hydroponic farms. FarmBox Foods says it can create as much as 2 football fields worth of traditional agriculture in one of these containers.
Don't use pesticides. We use nutrients, and I think the biggest thing that we have going for us is we use 3 to 5 gallons of water a day.
Well, one of the typical criticisms of vertical farming is the limitation on the variety of food you can grow. But FarmBox Foods tells us they've been testing carrots, potatoes, and radishes, providing more options for healthy, fresh produce to fill the supply chain.
The deadline to ban sales of new gas-powered cars is looming. Washington's Governor Jay Inslee recently followed California in announcing the ban starting in 2035. While that's the goal, researchers say more attention needs to be paid to the electric grid.
We need more capacity in the grid to support that charging.
Researchers at Stanford studied the charging infrastructure access and impact on the already stressed electric grid. They anticipate by 2035, the grid will be able to tap into more solar power for charging electric vehicles in the morning and early afternoon when there's additional energy.
Very positive, Zach, that we are in a very good trajectory and things are lining up well.
But the main problem with this is the lack of financial incentive. Right now, electricity rates are cheaper in the evening hours. The study's author says policymakers need to take action to bring on better rates during the day.
An expansion is coming to a center for Native American children in our area.
How that $6 million project is going to help the community. That's coming up.
HRC Ministries has always been an outreach organization, but now they're shifting their focus. They are offering a long-term care facility for abused women who need support the most. We are taking a much closer look at that coming up in just a few minutes.
Stream 4 News now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
No one goes all in on made-from-scratch freshness like Papa Murphy's. Because when you go all in, people notice. Go all in with the Triple Pet Pizza for just $11.99. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
Healthy communities need more than health care. This is Multicare. We're here for you.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
There's nothing like a fresh coat of paint to transform a home, a room, or a piece of furniture. No matter the project, the folks at your local Ace Hardware store are here to help you with all your paint needs. With our wide selection of premium brand paints and accessories, the experts at Ace will make sure you have everything you need to complete your paint project, no matter how big or small. Come see us today.
Deanna Krull has over 20 years of legal experience in our community as a prosecutor, defense attorney, and today as Judge Pro Tem. As District Court Judge, Deanna Krull will prioritize safe neighborhoods, demanding accountability, and fostering success for those ready to accept help.
I'm Deanna Krull. Throughout my legal career, I've worked to uphold the law, always with community safety in mind. That's exactly what I'll do as District Court Judge. I would appreciate your vote. Paid for by Friends of Deanna Krull for Judge.
This could be the view out of your office window. Link Transit, serving the picturesque communities of Wenatchee, Leavenworth, Chelan, and many more, is looking for drivers to join our team on some of the most beautiful routes in all of Washington. Link Transit coach operators enjoy full family benefits, paid CDL training, a state-of-the-art fleet, and the satisfaction of being part of a progressive, community-minded team. If you like this view, Link has a seat for you. The next operator training starts soon. Apply today at linktransit.com.
No one goes all in on made-from-scratch freshness like Papa Murphy's. Because when you go all in, people notice. Go all in with the triple pet pizza for just $11.99. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
Well, for women who survive sex trafficking, escaping the danger is possible with the right resources and support.
Well, there's a new facility in our area working to be part of that change, and it's 100% free. New at 6:30, Emily Bloom shows us how survivors are transforming their lives.
HRC Ministries has been open for over 7 years and has always been an outreach organization. Now they're shifting their focus. They have opened a new long-term care program for adult female survivors of human trafficking.
I have never in my whole life ran into something so evil.
Caleb Altmaier and his family set out to provide a resource for these women after learning a childhood friend of their own was a victim herself. She was trafficked by her parents.
It's a fight that we feel called to get into, and we don't believe that anybody is somebody's slave or somebody's property.
Trafficking often starts in the early teenage years. Some people think as long as they're out, they're good, but that's not true.
It can take a lifetime to work through the level of trauma that they've experienced.
For the 4 women currently in the program, they're in the Learning or Healing Center almost 40 hours a week.
We know people that have been raped one time. These women have been raped 10, 15, 20 times a day. So I think when you put it in that context, it takes time for healing to take place.
The goal at HRC is to restore these women, to build their self-confidence, build their self-esteem, and build their community.
It gives them hope to realize that your trauma is not who you are. That this isn't the end of your story. There's so much hope.
Eventually, they get to the point where they're discovering their gifts and working to get reintegrated back into society.
It's amazing to see where they come in and just to where they're at now. It's phenomenal. There's not really a better feeling.
Down the road, HR Ministries has plans to open a second safe house, an advocacy center, and ultimately an emergency shelter that specializes in trafficked victims. If you are being trafficked or you know somebody who might be, there's hope. You can either call Crime Check or speak to your school counselor. Reporting from an HRC Learning Center, I'm Emily Bloom for 4 News Now.
Well, here's the number for Crime Check. It's right on your screen, 456-2233.
Well, it has been a beautiful start to fall, don't you think?
Yeah, if you like blue skies and sunshine.
Right.
All that.
We do.
Floating around.
Who doesn't like that, Chris?
Well, good, because I have more of that in the forecast here. 4 things to know about your weather. Seasonably cool Friday night. We'll be down in the 50s. If you're heading out to dinner or some other fun Friday night activity, it'll cool down quickly. But then we're heading into a sunny and warm weekend. 80s next week. No sign of rain. We certainly could use it, but you'll have to settle for sunshine for the next few days. Our high temperatures today were running just a little below average in Spokane at 69. It was 72 today in Spokane Valley as well as in downtown, 68 at Spirit Lake, Hayden, as well as Coeur d'Alene. Temperatures presently haven't cooled down much. We're in the 60s, but as that sun sets here in about 10 minutes and the winds become light, we'll be clearing off and dropping into the 40s across much of the region. Air quality is in the good range, which is fantastic news. We got up into the unhealthy for sensitive groups category late last night with some wildfire smoke that came in from the Cascades. Southwesterly winds helped push that smoke out of the region, and should be a bright sunny Saturday with a high temperature of 74 degrees, and that is just the beginning of the warming trend. We're heading into the 80s. I'll tell you all about that in just a few minutes, Aaron.
Thank you, Chris. Well, right now, this is just a parking lot, but soon it will be transformed into the brand new Children and Youth Services Center. Construction is set to begin any day in the West Central neighborhood and will house the growing population of Native American youth and families in our area.
The Native Project already says they're becoming crowded, but we're waiting on one thing. 4 News Now's Rania Kaur explains.
The Native Project Friday afternoon is busy, with people walking in and out of the doors utilizing their services. But there's one problem.
Yes, it gets crowded, especially during the summer program, because we'll have the health center on one side and the kids that just came out of sports and swimming in the side next door.
To get a little bit more space, Dresser with the Native Project says they needed a building just for the kids.
They're our largest growing population, and they're 1/3 of the people that we serve in our facility.
Once it's built, the center can hold up to 2,400 people. The $6 million project was delayed by funding, but recently the last $300,000 was just approved by Spokane County. Helen Goodteacher and her daughter Solana can't wait for the facility to be built.
When we moved up to Spokane, my daughter and I, who's a teenager, we really felt it important to find community. By building this youth center, it will provide opportunity, a place for gathering for kids, and just a place to call home when maybe home's not the place they want to be.
The Children and Youth Services Center is planned to be fully built by next September. In West Central tonight, I'm Rania Kaur, 4 News Now.
Well, a preschool program on the South Hill in Spokane is growing.
This early childhood educational assistance program is run by the nonprofit Community Minded Enterprises. It serves income-eligible families who need to give their children a free pre-kindergarten education. Because of the long wait list each year, the preschool program has now expanded to 2 classrooms. It can now serve 40 students, 20 in each class.
We have a staff ratio of 3 to 20, and then we have 1 floater. So we are able to offer a lot of one-on-one time with the students that need that extra help.
The preschool is located in the middle of the South Hill apartment complex at 3307 East 55th Avenue. And an open house event this morning welcomed the community to see the newly renovated space. If you missed it but are still interested in learning about the program, contact the preschool on Facebook or by the phone. You can also find more information. Just look for this story on KXLY.com.
Unrest in Iran, protests ignited by the death of Mahsa Amini have grown, and now women are leading the calls for change and freedom. Amini was arrested for allegedly improperly wearing a hijab. And that same day, U.S. officials say she was sent to a hospital in a coma and died 2 days later from internal injuries. The threat of punishment by jail or flogging has not stopped these massive protests and remarkable acts of defiance in Iran. Today, more ominous warnings from authorities. The Army says it's ready to deal with conspiracies of the so-called enemies. The country's dealing with internet disruptions not seen since 2019 protests.
Well, to the war in Ukraine and the race to get out of Russia. Russia's airports, roads, and rails have been crowded for days in efforts to dodge President Putin's ramp-up of Russian troops. Demonstrators chanting, "I don't want to die for Putin." An independent monitoring group says protesters who are arrested are drafted directly into the military. It appears some Russians are doing anything to avoid the draft. Google says one search that recently spiked in Russia is how to break your arm at home.
About what happened during the Vietnam War, what the draft did to U.S. society, the turmoil it caused. That's what Putin is doing.
Moscow is apparently so desperate for more soldiers, new recruits are reportedly being offered pay that's up to 15 times higher than the average wage.
Developments in the treatment of cancer have improved over the years. What's driving the change in death rate? That's coming up.
The Washington State Cougars are looking to stay perfect on the season, but in order to do so, they'll have to get by a top 15 Oregon team. Coming up, here for what head coach Jake Dickert wants to see inside Martin Stadium tomorrow afternoon.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Falco's.
Get exactly what you want. Wendell Ford is ready to help you find that vehicle you've been wanting to buy. Built for you. F-150, Bronco, Bronco Sport, Explorer, Mach-E, and Maverick. Here's how it works. Make a list of options you want. Wendell will work with you on financing to fit your budget. And then we will order the vehicle of your dreams or select from current inventory. Get exactly what you want. Built for you. Wendell Ford at the Y. Drive for generations.
These doors are closed because it's too dangerous to ask employees to work here anymore. Think about that. For decades, Patty Murray has spearheaded reckless policies that lead to shortages, inflation, and so much crime that you can't even get a cup of coffee from the hometown shop on Capitol Hill, even if you could still afford it. 30 years in the Senate, and this is what she has to show for it? If she won't do the job, I will. I'm Tiffany Smiley, and I approve this message.
Come home to flooring for the whole family at Great Floors. Elevate your space with beautiful flooring for the whole family, including the furry ones. Great Floors offers a large selection of Shaw Pet Perfect flooring with exclusive discounts. Shop carpet, laminate, and hardwood at Great Floors. Ask about exclusive Great Floors 12-month financing options. Visit a showroom today and live life on Great Floors.
Today through this Monday, if you're hunting for the best selection of sporty used trucks and four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive SUVs,
we got them, and we're pricing them right to move them out.
Which means it's the perfect time to upgrade your vehicle to a better set of wheels before the winter months arrive. Bag a truck and save a buck. Plus, this week, Cal is offering a minimum $2,000 trade-in for your old ride.
You're right, Cal's got it.
Next DT, our Shania Twain exclusive inside her wardrobe wonderland.
This is Fiona, by the way.
Fiona. Plus, Shania's personal request for pal Harry Styles.
I expect him to say yes.
Then she's back from the island. Vanessa Lachey makes her ET return.
Stick around for more entertainment tonight.
Next ET.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
There's no need for a campfire. You can now make your own s'mores flavored drink using 3 new Pepsi flavors. When you mix them all together, Pepsi says it tastes just like the real thing.
That ad makes me think it's going to be pumpkin spice Pepsi, but it's s'mores, you guys, and it's apparently going to be available only for certain people. You have to tag Pepsi on Instagram or Twitter, and then you'll be entered to win them. The contest ends next Tuesday. I don't know about all that. That's all I'm going to say. Are you interested? Oh, you're already signing up.
You guys don't want in?
No.
You sure? Because I can tag you too on this one.
Not a favorite of mine.
All right. Well, you're missing out.
I am going to pass on that. S'mores, tempting, though. I do like the sound of that, of course. Lots of fire restrictions, but a propane s'more isn't too shabby. Time-lapse looking southwest over the Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena. It's not due west, it's a bit southwest as the sun set tonight. Partly to mostly clear skies. These clouds will continue to clear this evening. Temperatures dropping down into the 40s tonight. 48 in Spokane, 49 for an overnight low in Coeur d'Alene. 50s at Grand Coulee and Lewiston, but 40s for much of the rest of the region. High temperatures on Saturday with a lot of sunshine. Clear skies will be running just a little bit above average, close to 80 in Grand Coulee, 83 in Lewiston. Tomorrow we'll be at 74 in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. Big football game going on in Pullman. We're going to hear more about that shortly, but I want to tell you about the weather at that sold-out game. It is going to be just beautiful. Chilly at the tailgate if you're getting a nice early start. I know many of you are. We'll be in the 50s at 9 o'clock. Kickoff time at 1 o'clock, 70. Hit the high somewhere around halftime in the mid-70s. Of course, with a sold-out crowd at Martin Stadium, it'll probably feel like it's 90. And then we'll be in the 60s by 7 o'clock as you're walking around to your car or perhaps some fancy celebratory dinner. Your temperature trend over the next 7 days, this white line way down here, I had to adjust the Z-axis on this because our high was off the chart. This white line is our average high, and by this time next week, our average high is going to be in the mid-60s. It drops very quickly this time of year. October, our greatest change in temperature of any month. We're heading up to a high of 85 on Tuesday and then start to cool down a little bit, but not anywhere near average. And that trend looks like it will continue through the first week of October. Here's our temperature trend for October 1st through the 7th. We're in the orange. Not the dark oranges and reds further to the east, but above average temperatures, above average precipitation starting to sneak onto the west coast. Believe that when I see it. Every time we've seen a little bit of green on the map, it has turned out to be a bust. We'll get a sprinkle or two here or there, maybe an isolated thunderstorm. So I'm not going to count on any rain. Certainly not in the 7-day forecast. We've got sunshine, partly cloudy skies next week, but plenty of sunshine for a gorgeous weekend ahead. Aaron?
I am looking forward to it. You know, we just started fall, so naturally the leaves and the trees haven't started changing colors yet.
I thought I saw one today, just one tree. I don't think so. The time is coming, though, so just hang on a little while. Tonight, our Air 4 adventure takes you to the wild of the north.
It doesn't take long to leave the hustle and bustle of the city behind. North Pend Oreille County is a treasure of color, quiet, and adventure. Following the Pend Oreille River, the road takes you into the forest, where the birch and cottonwoods tower and are ablaze in gold. There is the scent of fall in the air, cool and refreshing. Sullivan Lake glistens in the fall light. The drive along the lake is gorgeous, but to experience it, you can take the trail that takes you along the east side. For a shorter hike, the Mill Pond Historic Site offers a trail with not only Sullivan Creek, but a glimpse into the past of the men and women who tamed this wild country at the turn of the 1900s. Life is a little slower in North Pend Oreille County. Take a walk through the towns of Medellin and Medellin Falls. Soak up the beauty of a rugged land.
It's pretty beautiful out there.
I have got to take a trip. Beautiful.
From brownies to gummies, vape pens and pipes, cannabis has adopted many different forms.
And now a new long-term study is shedding light on what it can do to your brain. Researchers in New Zealand say long-term cannabis use lowers your brain function. They closely followed nearly 1,000 people ages 3 to 45, and they discovered the IQs of long-term cannabis users declined an average of 5.5% from childhood. They were also slower at processing information compared to their non-cannabis using peers.
Well, fewer people are dying from cancer in the U.S., with more survivors than ever before. That's according to a new report. The American Association for Cancer Research says between 1991 and 2019, there was a 32% drop in the U.S. cancer death rate, meaning nearly 3.5 million lives were saved. The report says it's because of new treatments, improvements in catching cancer early, and declines in smoking.
So many cancers are preventable from lifestyle changes, smoking, obesity, things like that. Maybe half of cancer is preventable in that regard.
The COVID-19 pandemic has had an effect on cancer in the U.S., with nearly 10 million breast, colorectal, and prostate cancer screenings missed in 2020. The report recommends building on the progress made with cancer screenings to regain momentum. It's Friday night, which means high school football takes center stage once again. Coming up in sports, Alex Crescenti has a preview of the matchup at Union Stadium.
Yeah, and here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
My husband and I have had the Harvester for about 13 years. If there's anything you want to know about Spangle, come in and find out at the Harvester. Avista contacted us about a business partner program to upgrade our lights to LED lights. Between the energy efficient rebates that we got in the grant, it was completely free to us. On our energy bill, we're saving about $500 a month. Everything has gone up, so that savings has been a huge help to the restaurant.
You've been hearing about it, and now we've got it at Post Falls Volkswagen, the ID4 electric SUV. This SUV has a space, warranty, technology that buyers want at a price that's competitive.
Come into Post Falls Volkswagen and reserve your ID4 electric SUV, and we'll fill up your gas tank. It's easy to reserve yours. Come into Post Falls Volkswagen and get started and never feel the pain at the pump again.
The ID4 electric SUV, see it and reserve yours today at Post Falls Volkswagen.
Enjoy the natural beauty of Coeur d'Alene with our fall stay and cruise package. Book your stay today at cdaresort.com.
We rent china, glassware, tents, and barbecues, flatware, linen, stands for staging, tables, chairs.
A to Z rental, no job too big, no job too small.
Jackhammers, stem blowers, washers, stump grinder saws, generators, skid steer, excavator, dingoes, trailers, tractors, nailers, staplers, hole diggers, tillers, mowers, yard vac, aerators.
Call A to Z rental at 509-924-2000 or go to rentatoz.com.
We rent everything, man. At A to Z rental, we rent everything.
Did you know that Spokane Hyperbaric Center uses oxygen to reduce pain, inflammation, and swelling?
I didn't know that.
Did you know that hyperbaric oxygen therapy promotes new blood vessel growth, fights infection, and releases more stem cells from your bone marrow?
I didn't know that.
Would you like to know if Spokane Hyperbaric Center is the right choice for you? Go to hyperbarichope.com to find out.
Spokane Hyperbaric Center gave us hope. And now you know.
4 News Now is brought to you by Ironstone Furniture and Fire.
Well, it's hard to believe, but we are already a month into the high school football season, so starting to get to that portion of the schedule where some of the better teams are separating themselves and seeing if they have what it takes to make a deep run into the state playoffs. And 2 of those teams are Meade and Gonzaga Prep, and they're about to do battle here at Union Stadium. Kickoff in less than 15 minutes from now, and winner's going to take it in the driver's seat of the GSL. But high school football not the only event in town this weekend. We got a whole slate of college games. Down on the Blues, the Washington State Cougars will open up Pac-12 play tomorrow against the 15th-ranked Oregon Ducks, and it's going to be another huge clash between these 2 rivals. As the university announced yesterday, the game is officially a sellout. For head coach Jake Dicker, that means home field advantage.
We're going to max this place out, and this is going to be just like game day. Okay, and our fans need to come here and be loud and set the tempo right from the kickoff. And our student section on 3rd down needs to be loud, and they got to make sure they're going on the clap and they're doing their thing, because it's going to be a loud environment. This can be the toughest place to play in the Pacific Northwest. Okay, we got to make it that way each and every day, and we get an amazing opportunity, and I'm so proud of Cougs everywhere because they're going to show up. They're going to show out.
The Cougs in Oregon will kick off from Martin Stadium at 1 in the afternoon, so make sure you're planned accordingly for traffic there down to Pullman. And after a bye week, the Eastern Washington Eagles will be back in action tomorrow afternoon on the red turf. They'll open up Big Sky play against a top 5 opponent in Montana State, a big game for them. And the Idaho Vandals will be making it look to make it 2 in a row as they hit the road for the 3rd time in the last 4 weeks. They travel down to Flagstaff to take on Big Sky fellow team Northern Arizona. And it's probably not too early to start hitting the panic button for the Seattle Seahawks. Despite their win in week 1 against the Broncos, the team came out last week against the San Francisco 49ers and was just downright awful, with the offense just non-existent to this point, not scoring a point in the last 6 quarters. And head coach Pete Carroll knows this game this weekend is vital to the success for the rest of the year.
I'm trying to get ready to play smart and play right, and not give a bunch of stuff away, penalties in the ball and all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking for us to bounce and turn this thing back around and get rolling. And unfortunately, Atlanta is a good club, and they've been right there to win both games. And I know that they know they're on the verge, because they are. And they've got talent and speed and all kinds of stuff and scheme, and they do a really nice job. So it's a big challenge for us.
Falcons and the Seahawks will kick off on Sunday afternoon at 1:25. Loser going to be sitting nicely for a top 3 draft spot. And of course, we got Meade and Union Stadium. We'll have the highlights for you coming up on Nightside at Friday Night Sports Extra rolls on. And we're also going to have some highlights for other games in our area. But for now, reporting live from Union Stadium up in Meade, I'm Alex Crescenti, 4 News Now Sports.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
Pergo Elements Wet Protect. The right kind of waterproof. Pergo Elements.
Come see us at Floor and Home.
Let us help create your space.
Biden and the Democrats printed trillions we don't have. The D.C. way. They spend, we pay. Gas and groceries are crushing family budgets. Kathy McMorris-Rogers says, no way. Kathy's fighting every day to cut spending and get American energy back online. Lowering gas prices and securing energy independence from Russia and China. Fighting to hold Biden accountable. Kathy McMorris-Rogers, our voice.
I'm Kathy McMorris-Rogers, and I approve this message.
There's nothing that beats the in-person experience of the Fall Festival of Homes. Whether you're buying, remodeling, or just looking for inspiration, you'll find everything you need to turn your ideas into reality. The 18th Annual Fall Festival of Homes will feature top local builders such as Camden Homes, Toll Brothers, and Greenstone. Sponsored by Fred's Appliance and brought to you by Spokane Home Builders Association. Local leaders, proven resources.
You don't have to wake up every day and choose to live in filth and in brokenness. You don't have to stay in a place where you know you don't belong, where you will never be happy, or there will never be a way out. There is a way out. There is hope. You have a future, and the hurts that you have been through can be healed. You can have a wonderful life. There's a better way. Life can be beautiful.
It's time to elevate your finances. Introducing Ascend Checking, the new free checking account from P1FCU that pays you dividends. Earn 1.45% APY on balances up to $15,000. Plus, get online and mobile banking and mobile deposit with no minimum balance requirements. Level up your finances with Ascend Checking. To open your account, visit p1fcu.org/ascend. P1FCU, a Pacific Northwest original since 1938.
Pergo Elements Wet Protect. The right kind of waterproof. Pergo Elements.
Come see us at Floor and Home.
Let us help create your space.
4 News Now, brought to you by Morningstar Boys Ranch and their annual fundraiser, Caring for Kids.
I'm pretty excited about this weekend. Mostly sunny skies, crisp mornings, warm afternoons. It's going to feel much more summery than like fall in the afternoon on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, you have to get out and appreciate these weekends because there's not a lot of them.
No, things could turn quickly.
And you said crisp, and now all I can think of, because my stomach is rumbling, is the Honey Crisps.
Ooh,
and all the crisps.
Those are so good. That's my favorite apple.
What's the one that's green, too?
Granny Smith?
Granny
Smith at Cosmic Crisp. That's another one.
That
was not green, though.
That was breaking news here when that came out.
Because that was what, like 10 years in the making, or 20?
It's a favorite.
It's a big deal.